Eagles fly alone. Zuckerberg has no mates. Elon Musk has no mates. Steve Jobs had no mates. Bill Gates has no mates. And I can go on and on and on and on. They don't hang. They don't chill. They don't go to the Super Bowl. They don't go to the World Cup. They don't go to Wimbledon. All they do is work. I fall into that category. I fall into that category. The richest woman in China, just an article in the FT a year or so ago, hasn't taken a day off in 26 years. There was a period of time from 1971 to 1996, I had no days off, including the day I got married. I worked in the morning. They just did a chart on me 2 years ago based on the hours that I've worked. I'm really not 70, I'm 131. I'm 131 years of 40 hours, 5 days a week, because I still work 60, 70 hours a week or more. I used to work 100, 110, 115 hours a week. When I was your age, I could work 4 or 5 days in a row with no sleep. Go out for a 10-mile run and come back and work another day. But the difference is I loved everything that I've ever done. Looking back in hindsight, I absolutely adored. I had great passion for it. Because if you don't have great passion for it, it gets old quickly. It's like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, ladies. Boyfriend. I mean, pretty, after 2 dates, 2 nights, you want to kick him to the curb. And you're asking yourself, how did I get involved with this? Right now, cybersecurity is the hottest industry on the fucking planet. Cybersecurity is the hottest. If your dog can't hunt in today's interest rate environment, you ought to jump in front of a car. And it's easier to buy revenue than it is create it. I'm going to say it again. It's easier to buy revenue than create it. 95% of all businesses worldwide don't sell. Why? Because the seller's trying to get rich off one transaction. He's trying to build his wealth off one deal. He worked 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and now he's trying to get wealthy. Wealth is built on a series of transactions, not one. 95% of all businesses don't sell because they're asking outrageously high price for it because they didn't get rich all the way up. This system has created billions, tens of billions. It's the largest deal in recorded history, from teenage phenom multimillionaires to the largest deal on the planet, $500 billion, is built on taking money out every time you do a transaction. And this system is realize means sell, and either through an IPO or a strategic sale to a big company, and so you're cashing out. And that's how we've done it since I've been coaching 25 years, and that's how Amazon's doing it, that's how Google is doing it, and that's how Microsoft is doing it, and I could go on and on and on and name many more companies. For those of you that have been in business, your first $50,000 revenue, remember that first $50,000 you had in revenue? That's geometric growth, 0 to 50. And then remember the second $50,000 in revenue? That's still geometric growth, from 0 to 100. Why'd you stop? Because then you start coveting your assets. You start worrying about the money that you made. And you start worrying, more importantly, about losing it. So you sat down like a chicken, a hen on her eggs. A turtle can only move forward when its legs and head are out of the shell, right? When it pulls its head in and its legs in, it can't move forward, can it? Can't move anything. When it's in a riskless position, it can't move, can it? Most of your lives have been a turtle with its legs and head pulled in because you've been risk averse. There's a completely different life from playing not to lose than playing to win. Right now, you will be motherfucking-sidle over not taking advantage of the economic market now. Dep is good. The ghost says it's good too because the doors are going back and forth behind you. Dep is good. Greed is good, as Gordon Gekko said in the original Wall Street movie. But you've had 3 or 4 generations grow up, Dep is bad. And guess what? You're more or less debt-free. The questions that you ask, Kira, And the questions you're going to ask everybody that's on the webinar are the same motherfuckers. And as one of the guys from the last seminar said, who's a professional salesperson, and he's one of the leading, if not the leading, Mercedes salesman in the country, the UK, said to another professional sales guy that was in the seminar, they laughed when they were having a pint or a drink. They both laughed at. It's pretty clear. Deal flow. How do you get it? You pick up the fucking phone. How do you get the fucking money? You pick up the fucking phone. That's not going to change. So consequently, do people that have come from a direct sales background have it easier? Yeah. Picking up the phone. Are they any more effective? No. Why aren't they any more effective? Because they step on their dick in another way. The one that you're afeared of, they can do easily, but they step on their dick another way. Because you engage in self-sabotage, you will find the best way to step on your dick. Everybody in this room and everybody listening will find the best way to step on their dick and engage in self-sabotaging activities. And he wants to know, well, how do I stop the self-sabotaging activities, right? You don't! I have to go back to the second trimester when you're in your fat fucking mother's belly. You cannot. It's not possible. But you've got to get over it. Just like Kira said, when she was emotionally drained, I just pulled the trigger again. She said it a little more articulately than that, but that's what she meant. You got to keep swinging at the plate. Assets, which is what I like to do, just the assets, not the company shares, because with company shares comes liabilities present and future. Company assets are, for example, you're just buying the machines, intellectual property, yada yada. My recommendation will be not to buy their shares. In future liabilities, you're leaving the cash in. And depending on how much the cash is, especially since you don't have 2 pennies to rub together and you need to pay yourself a salary, that you can take your first board of directors bonuses out of the cash that's left in the company. All of you, if you're in business and you don't have a line of credit or an overdraft, as they're called in Europe, something's not right. The rule of thumb is your overdraft, your line of credit should be 10% of your revenue. If you do $1 million in revenue, you should have 100,000 overdraft. Overdraft is a credit facility that you set up with a bank, normally guaranteed by your business revenue, and yourself, meaning you're going to have to sign for it. But it's money that they stands ready, not being used, in a separate account at the bank, the financial institution, that you can draw down on. If sales are off, you want to spend money on capital expenditures, CapEx, unexpected CapEx, capital expenditure. All of a sudden, you're doing so much business. Let's say you're manufacturing and clothing. You need to buy a new machine to do this stitching or whatever, and you go to the bank. And if you're in business, you'll be hard pressed to get an overdraft, but you've got no business, because the overdraft is guaranteed by the revenues of the business and by you personally. So, but for those of you that have businesses and that you have, a few $100,000 in revenue or a few $1 million in revenue, you should easily be able